Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.
I'm Al Bledsoe, Veterans of Foreign War, Post 1108.
Hey, I'm Ron Chappell, and chaplain at Vietnam Veterans Post 777, and a co-host here with Elle at Proudly We Serve, a program about and for veterans. So our guest today, this is going to be very interesting. You're going to like it. You're going to enjoy it. Beth Treaster, and I've known Beth for a number of years. We were just chatting just before the program started. I met her in '08 when she returned to Richmond. I had been here about 8 years then, and I met her. And it's just good to see her back and doing some things. Beth, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Thriving.
Yeah.
I've been reading some things that they sent us about you and what you do. So tell us a little bit. Give us a story about what you do, and let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, focusing in on what I do in regards to veterans, my heart in all of this starts with my own dad, a World War II veteran who lived to be 103.
Wow.
And now that he's gone, it just gives me great joy to continue to recognize and serve veterans in his honor, but I am being so enriched by getting to know many more veterans. And one of the ways I've gotten to be involved is I was director of the Centerville Library for 10 years. I retired 2 years ago. And I don't know if you know that being a director of a small town library puts you in the middle of everything.
Sure.
And I loved it. I became so involved in that town. I'm not actually from Centerville. I'm from Greensport, a Hagerstown graduate. But I do have ancestors who settled Centerville in 1814. But anyway, as one of my connections in being involved in Centerville, one time, Jackie Carberry and Dan Wondersea came to me, you probably know them, and said, what can we do to recognize veterans, specifically in Centerville? Of course, we knew that all the things that happened already, like the Veterans Parade in Richmond in November and so on. But we wanted to do something in Centerville. So they were the catalyst, and I, having all the resources of the library at the time, this was in 2017, just got busy. And we have been doing something every year since. Of course, not last year. The pandemic year, we didn't do anything. But we have a group now who wants to recognize Centerville veterans any way we can.
This is exciting, when I heard about it. And it excited veterans here in the Richmond area, too, just to know that people are really thinking about veterans. Oftentimes we figure folks say, well, they just do what they do and they did it, we're free, that's it. But they don't realize the commitment that veterans make in the service to their country.
Yes.
So it makes you feel good. I know Vietnam vets in my era, we didn't receive a lot of positive accolades from folks.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared, yeah. But to see you guys pick this up and to run with this is exciting.
Exciting. I think that Centerville is, I think, one of the most veteran-friendly communities. The way they do they have so many activities for veterans. Right? They have the VVA thing, or Vietnam veterans. When we had the meeting at the little Christian church, I can't remember a lot of this stuff because the COVID stuff hit. But they did real good with that. Wondersea's really good, I think, about pushing what's done in Centerville. And it's really a tribute to any veteran if they know I'm in the Wayne County Honor Guard, and it's always nice to go to Centerville School when they have all their ceremonies and stuff like that. They're always welcome us, and everybody just really enjoys being around Centerville.
Yeah.
Because it's a good community. I mean, my daughter's lived there for
Yeah. But this
10
this
years.
this comes out of the is it MSC? Is it Main Street Centerville?
Right. Main Street Centerville.
Yeah. So how did that all get started?
Yeah, it didn't start that way. It was just an informal group of us originally. And you mentioned this programs at the school. A member of our group has been Kelly Van Winkle, the elementary school principal, who's very supportive of veterans efforts. And then Dan and Jackie and one other person, two other person, Marilyn Buckholz and Chris Turner, who works at the library, were the core committee. And we came up with our name for ourselves called C-LOV, which is an acronym for Centerville Loves Our Veterans. Oh. And then we realized that we'd be better off if we weren't an isolated group. So when Main Street Centerville started going, which was also in 2017, soon after that, we talked to that group, and then I became part of that group, and I'm now a board member of Main Street Centerville. And we have come under the umbrella of Main Street, which has been very helpful because, well, for one thing, Main Street provides our liability insurance for all of any events we do.
Okay.
And it just gives us a bigger platform and a pool of volunteers when we have events.
So C-LOV still exists. It just operates under Mainstream, or
right?
Okay. That's a pretty good idea. I was hoping you didn't throw away the C-LOV. I like that.
Oh yeah, I love that acronym.
So you
too.
organize the
Centerville Loves Our Veterans.
you organize the Centerville parades and all that kind of stuff that goes on. That's
Yes, you could say Dan's the idea person. I'm the organizer and executor.
Yeah.
with a lot of help.
Okay.
Organization could be my middle name, so I like putting these things together.
Okay.
You mentioned the event at the Christian Church in Centerville, not the one in Centerville, the one between Centerville and Richmond.
Right.
That was 2 years ago. That was also a C-LOV event. That was not a parade. And actually, if we had all the time this morning, I would love to explore the whole theme, and I don't know that we do have time. If parades are still the best way to recognize veterans.
Sometimes it's difficult because the younger ones especially, or I mean, I see it because I'm involved in quite a bit of this stuff. And what I see is just the younger guys, it's hard to get them involved. And the older guys are just getting tired. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult to have that energy to push on and get something done. So it's good to see someone that's really interested in that.
Yeah, doing something.
To me,
yeah.
I mean, I wish I would have met you before the program today, but
we have met her, so therefore,
yeah.
I mean, I knew her, but now we know what she's doing, so now we got something to pull on.
Now we got.
You will be hearing from us.
Yeah, now we got a go-to person that we can go if we want to do something and organize something. But yeah, we try to do that. In Richmond, I work at Cronin, and we certainly try to recognize veterans and do everything we can to help them. And I've got a little veterans center out at the dealership. So, but I think that it's good that we've got someone that really cares about that
Right.
and really is willing to carry that on.
Right.
Because
So,
I will look forward to continuing discussions on what makes a satisfactory, rewarding event for the veteran.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, secondary is educating young people, but I think that's really secondary. Mm-hmm. The first priority of any event we do needs to be for the veterans' benefit. And I don't know if parades are still the best forum for that. Maybe they are. The parade that we had 2 weeks ago in Centerville, we had a great turnout of veterans. The audience to see the veterans was abysmal. Very disappointing. Now, maybe that's a COVID hangover effect. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's got us thinking, what are we going to do from here on?
Yeah, I think we'd be wise not to evaluate what appears to be diminishing interest in the light of COVID. Let's get through this, and I think we're going to see that the interest is still there. People like parades; they like to see that stuff, and especially if you got big shiny trucks, and, bands, and
that creates excitement. All that kind of stuff is good.
Yeah, I'm sure COVID had an effect on what the turnout was. Yeah, but thinking about MSC now, how is it different from other business improvement groups in Centerville, and over the years, what do you expect it to accomplish?
And I appreciate the opportunity to inform your listeners a little more about what Main Street groups are. It's not just Centerville. Main Street groups are all over the nation now.
Yeah.
In Wayne County, there are 4, one for Richmond, Hagerstown, Cambridge City, and Centerville.
Okay.
Main Street groups are in existence to keep downtowns alive and even vibrant. And so the difference now, there have been, and Centerville folks may remember a group called Promote Centerville, or an earlier group called Archway 2000, who have tried for many decades to keep business in Centerville. And this is not a new issue that small town downtowns are struggle. The difference now is, with the group that we formed in 2017, is there is, like I mentioned, a national momentum. We are a member of the Indiana Main Street Network. We get a lot of support from them, grant opportunities, education. They're there anytime we have a how do we handle this situation question, they have answers for us. And the other thing that's different now, and I just love this, part of the outreach of the Wayne County Foundation is a group called Forward Wayne County. I don't know if you've heard about that yet.
Yes.
I'm sure you will be hearing as they
heard
get
about
more initiatives. And one of the things that Forward Wayne County is doing is bringing together the Main Street groups once a month to dialogue and learn together. That has been invaluable. I truly say, I think I'm speaking for all of us, not just me, when I say, because of that group, it's no longer, how can we get a leg up on Cambridge City or Hagerstown? It's the question now is, how can we all get better together?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so the major goals of MSC. What would you say the major goals are, and what? Well, you just talked a bit about some of the progress that you've made. What the Main Street Group is that now a national network of Main Street groups?
There is a national organization. We are not, Centerville is not a member of the national organization yet because it costs a lot of money and so on. We are definitely a member of the state organization, which is part of OCRA, Office of Community and Rural Affairs, underneath the Lieutenant Governor. So, yes, we are part of a bigger organization, but the work is done at the local level. If I could say what our objectives are in one word, I would say the word is communicate. There's so much that can happen if the left hand knows what the right hand is doing.
Hello.
Haven't we all experienced that? And, the towns already have their town government, they have their town council, so on, but those people have so many responsibilities already. And where we feel like we, as the Centerville Main Street Group, have been most valuable and will continue to be valuable, we hope, is interfacing between the town and the businesses, between the businesses and the community, and keeping communication going in every direction. And if I may give a couple examples of that.
Sure.
Coming up, starting anytime actually, 40 going, our Main Street in Centerville will be torn up for total construction, reconstruction. And that's going to be very hard on the businesses. So we at Main Street have been in communication with the Okra people. In fact, we had a meeting last week with the head of Okra, who has a lot of personal experience on managing during construction. And we are rolling out a plan of how to keep the businesses open and communicate with the public. You know, this is where you can park, these are the hours, so on.
That's great.
So helping with construction is one thing we want to do.
Right.
We also are trying to continually communicate with the businesses, anything that would help them. So you probably have seen in the paper about the COVID Phase 3 grant that the county was awarded. And if Main Street thought that we needed to do more than hope that our businesses read it in the paper, I personally called every business in Center Township and said, there's a grant coming that you can apply for. And made sure they had all the information, got their emails, forwarded them the links. And we're hoping that the winners of that will be announced hopefully this coming week. And we can't wait to see how many of those awardees are Centerville people.
Yeah. So this will assist them through the duration of the construction?
Well, that's another initiative.
Okay.
Two different things there. The COVID grant is for businesses to get relief money. And then the construction project is to help people know that they can still come shop downtown even if the street is torn up.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm still stuck on C-LOV, okay? I'm sorry.
No problem.
I don't want to lose that because I think it's vitally important. And so now, how is with everything else you got going on, how is C-LOV progressing?
Well, boy, that's a good question. We need more volunteers. We've got a couple ideas of people that we could sure use some help from. We started in 2017. We started a database of Centerville veterans, and you can't just go online, contrary to expectations, and say, you can't Google Centerville veterans and see everybody who ever served.
Right.
Well, don't we wish it were that simple? But of course, some are deceased, so you do pull them up. You don't find living veterans online because privacy issues, of course. So we made a big push at the library to ask veterans or their family to give us their service history, branch, rank, so on, conflict, and their contact information, so that we could involve them in any future projects and recognize them in future projects. Well, we have that database, and we wonder sometimes if we should expand that to the rest of the county. We haven't done that simply because of a lack of manpower. I don't know. You probably asked the same things at your VFW post. How do we keep track of these people? How do we know who are the veterans so we can serve them?
Yeah.
We don't have good answers. I would love to brainstorm more with you folks about that.
Yeah. I think most would rather you retain the information and not disseminate it to other organizations. And that probably comes from our military background and experience, that only those who have a need to know should have information that's sensitive, So I would keep it in one area. And then others, if they need it, they can know that you got it. And if they need something from it, they can call on you or email you or whatever to get it, but not let them have the complete database. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
We think
Well, I
that.
think the key to it is just getting the younger ones involved. Again, it goes back to that issue of getting younger people involved. The older guys know Centerville, that's a very veteran-friendly community. So I think the key to it is getting younger guys involved, and that's tough.
Yeah. Well, you got to have something to draw them, to make them see how they can benefit
Exactly.
from letting people have that information.
Yeah, because it's what's in it for me type thing anymore. It's what can you do for me, and if you can help me, maybe I can help you. But it's hard. So, but
One of the ways that worked out well was the only young service people that we had in our database were ones where their parents submitted the information. And then when we put up banners, and you've probably driven through Centerville and noticed our veteran banners, one veteran named on each light pole.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. So the way we got those names was from the database. We would call them or email them and say, hey, can we put your name up on a banner? And of course, they were thrilled.
Yeah.
And especially when we were contacting the parents and their child is still serving overseas. And we say, can we put your child up on a banner? And
Oh yeah.
they love it, of course.
Oh yeah.
So we hope that continues. We really need to do another big push to get some more the newest service members. Because there's always more, of course.
I don't exactly know how you get that information. The ones that are getting discharged or.
We've talked about that in other
have.
forums as well, and I think the out processing piece, when you get out, that information needs to be shared with the local VSO, Veteran Service Officer, and that person would be the go-to person for Beth to get that information.
Sure.
Organizations like that,
I know a lot of veterans just aren't, they say they aren't anyway. Now maybe they are when they're actually discharged, that they give this information. But there's a lot of things like that with health care and all that stuff that veterans say, well, I didn't know that. Or if you ask them a question about why are you doing about this, they say, well, I didn't know about that. Wow.
I don't know.
Go figure.
I think sometimes they're not listening, because I remember when I
Well,
got
I know,
out,
that's what I'm saying.
They
They're
asked
not
me about
paying
everything.
attention, so.
Of course, it could be a difference in terms of people short-term versus retirement. Could be a different process. I don't know, because I know when retirement, when you process out, man, they put you through the whole gauntlet. Everything. Yeah. So, but that's something that we need to ask. You know what? Maybe we should share with those who have the information and have the authority for releasing that information that we have great citizens like Beth who are trying to do some things and need that information, and we need to devise a way where we can get it, and cause our soldiers to, in their out processing, to, get their name on a list or some kind of database that, the Veteran Service Officer would have in that county, and they could go to and pull that information.
Sure.
If every soldier who served in our county had to report to the Veteran Service Officer, okay,
that would be good.
That would, and then we could establish a database that way.
Because I think once you get that, if you call them and talk to them, and of course I'm from the school that there's nothing better than personal contact, but you know as well as I do, that's where you get veterans, if you will, on your side. You have to talk to them, and that's just a good thing. I mean, all that communication like that.
Right.
If they'll listen, that'll be the big thing. So.
Well, I look forward to any progress we can. The names that we have had thus far have been voluntary, where a family member or the veteran saw our efforts and said, here's my info. But of course, you don't get everybody that way.
Right.
Communication, promoting something is so difficult nowadays, now that we don't all read the paper. And, there's so many ways to promote an event or a happening that there's no one good way. And so, I like your idea of getting a list somehow.
Yeah. Okay. So if someone wanted to, we got about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to get involved with what you're doing, how would they do that, Beth?
Oh, they can look at our Main Street website, which is just Main Street Centerville, or probably the simplest thing is just to call the Centerville Library and tell them, hey, I want to know more about C-LOV, or I want to turn in my veterans information, or I'd like to help with Main Street, or any of that. Another easy way to connect with Main Street specifically, the president of our Main Street group is Kyle Turner. I think about everybody knows of Turner Insurance right there at the main intersection of Centerville. Just call them or walk in there and say, hey, guy, connect me with Main Street. And Kyle will be glad to facilitate that.
Okay.
Well, I think you've done a good job of making that happen, because everybody likes to go to the Centerville parades and stuff and all that. I mean, Centerville's a well-rounded veteran community,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I think they are.
Yeah. It's encouraging. It makes the veterans feel good when you go through a community and you can see things that indicate that they're proud of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, Beth, we're going to have to go. I want to thank you so much
Sure.
for being a part of what we're doing here at Proudly We Serve. And anything that you've got going that you want us to talk about, you let me know. Let us know. Call me or Elle,
sure.
and get a hold of us, and we'll get it on. We'll get you on, and you can share it with the rest of the community.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially
Thanks
more and
very
more.
much.
Especially more and more with the COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
Loosening up a little bit more, where you can have more of that personal contact. So
Right.
that'd be
That's what we want
good.
to do.
All right, lady. Well, we got to go.
Go.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you so
Thanks
much.
for this chance.
Yeah.
Appreciate it
Yeah.
very, very much.
Thanks
and
a
like I
lot.
said, look forward to hearing more from you. Keep us posted.
I was sure will.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.